It's been estimated that 79% of Gen Zers have had their parents contact their boss on their behalf. What does that say about how we're raising kids these days?
I think what it's saying is we don't believe that they can do things on their own, and we have to jump in and rescue them. And it makes them doubt their gut and their intuition. It makes them think, oh, I can't do this on my own unless my parent swoops in. So I'm seeing that more and more. And when I speak to professors at colleges and universities, they're saying they're getting calls and emails from students' parents and, well, FERPA, what about, privacy and confidentiality? And parents are insisting, no, I need to know why my student, why my kid is not doing well, or doing doctor's appointments for them and all these things. So I think we're really communicating the wrong message. I don't believe that you are capable of doing this on your own, so I'm just going to do it for you.
I appreciate that take, because what I've seen other people say online is like, what's wrong with these kids? This generation is just weak. But what I'm hearing from you is that we have instilled in them this lack of confidence that I'm unable to do this. We're going to get into like what we can do to raise more resilient children, to help them function as adults. But I just find this statistic, I just found it so bizarre, because as someone who owns a company, I don't even know what I would do if somebody's mom called me, because I have very much this line of like, I am in a relationship with who I chose to be in a relationship with. And when somebody comes in on behalf of that it feels very non-consensual. So, it's something that I'm like, I would probably have a moment of like, this is so bizarre, and I need to Google what you do in this situation because I don't know what to do. So I'm also wondering from the take, like, for the adults that are having to interact with these parents, how does that start to shape the relationship with their employee?
Well, they're walking on eggshells. They're really not sure how to interact because then there's another person in the relationship. There's another person that could potentially put you on blast or call you or force you to violate maybe a sense of confidentiality that you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
And so I think it puts them in a weird relationship, a weird situation, because then you're no longer this one-on-one. It's like this 1 and 2 and 3 with these other entities that don't belong in this interaction. So it makes it kind of odd and strange. And I've had where I've employed Gen Zers and they're still being covered under like their parents' insurance, or their parent is still paying their bills, even though they're living with a significant other. Like, it's just this strange dynamic. And then when I think back as a Gen Xer and how early I was on my own and didn't rely on my mom for these things, it's just, it really is a different kind of mindset. And so we're blaming these Gen Zers for being too soft and not being independent enough, but we're perpetuating it by doing the things that make them dependent.
Yeah. I appreciate you saying also from your Gen X perspective, because, I should say my perspective on this, I was working full time at 16 years old. Like, I had my first medical license by the time I turned 18. So very different for me. So I think that also, for people listening, adds a lens of me being like, what is happening here? Because it seems so foreign to me. So let me ask, if this is where we're at right now, what is something parents can start doing this week to help build that resilience in their teen, to be very clear on what I'm saying, so that they don't end up with their mom or dad calling their boss?
Start early in giving them things to be responsible for, small things, doing chores around the house, taking ownership in various things that belong to them. If they want to make their own money, start their own business, doing things on their own. I think it's really, even the small things, how to do their laundry, how to clean a room, how to apply for a job, how to get a loan, how to get a scholarship, being able to instill these things that will build up over time. So like, for example, when I was growing up, my mom had a children's clothing store. She had it for many, many years. And they would have me do the bank deposits with the big nylon bag with the lock that you would have to deposit to the bank with thousands of dollars in it. And I would walk down the sidewalk with this bag full of money. And when I think back on it,
are you thinking that was a good idea or a bad idea?
I don't think it was a good idea.
Okay.
But she would be like, don't talk to anybody. Don't buy anything off the street. Don't stop. Don't get some candy. Like, go straight to the bank.
Yeah.
And when I look back, I'm like, wow, talk about I'm honored that you trusted me that much with our business livelihood, but that's a little bit too much responsibility. But I'm still thinking that same idea of allowing our children, our teens to know, I believe in you. I know that you are capable, and helping them build up responsibility over time. I mean, I did paychecks for the employees. I would go on buying trips with my aunt and mom to Puerto Rico and Florida so a lot of things they really entrusted and I meet with, and I don't think we're doing that enough for this generation. We are believing that they are incapable. And we don't give them enough responsibility. And so then they're showing that they're not capable because they don't believe they are either.
How did parents get there though? Okay, because we were like latchkey kids, right?
Yes.
Like we were like, ride your bike when I see younger generation actually ask, was it really true no one knew where you were? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Was it really true you didn't come home until the lights were turning on? Yes. Like, was it really true you got home from school and like no one was there and you just like lived your life and took care of yourself? So that, I will say, that does seem like one extreme. And now we've got a completely different extreme. So how did we actually get there as parents?
Well, I mean, we see it all the time in our society that we were raised a certain way, we were taught a certain way, whatever it is. And we're like, oh, I am never going to have my kids go through that. So what do? We swing the pendulum all the way to the other side. So because no one cared about where I was, I couldn't talk to my parents about whatever was going on. I could watch whatever I watched and nobody knew. And I was latchkey. I was on my own, that I'm going to make sure that my kid knows that I'm there for them, that they're always going to be 100% supervised. I'm going to put cameras inside the house. Like I am going to make sure that they never feel alone. So then we swing it all the way to the other side. And now we're smothering these kids. Now we're lawnmower parents and helicopter parents and snowplow parents, all these different terms.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that they don't feel the way we felt. And I think that's what happens. It's just our life trying to establish this homeostasis that I'm not going to let my kid feel alone. So I'm just going to hover. And I think that's where we are. That's what happened. And now we're in a situation where these kids are so dependent on an adult supervision because they don't know how to fend for themselves.
Yeah. But what I'm hearing, and I think it's important for people who are listening, is that no one's doing this out of like, I want to, make it so my child cannot live without me. No one's doing this out of malice, spite, or because they're a neglectful parent. They're doing it out of, I want more for my child.
Absolutely.
I want better. I want what I didn't have. And so I think that's an important framework to put into place as people listen to this, because, I will guarantee the people listening to this are the people who beat themselves up and go through the same thing I go through of like, I'm the worst mom ever. Like, you have that feeling from time to time.
Yeah. And I think we need to stop doing that. The reason why people listen to podcasts like this and read parenting books and go to the workshops and all the things is because they want to be better. You know where you struggle or where you need to strengthen those skills. And so I think those people are more likely to beat themselves up. Intelligent people know where they're missing out. They're not saying, I have it all figured out. The reason why you are smart and you're good enough is because you realize where you're falling short. But it's important not to get into this parent shame and guilt cycle, because again, we do this because we want better for our kids, which is why we swing the other side. But we have to also realize that it's not beneficial for them. We need to establish a sense of balance. That's why it's really about good enough parenting, because you're not going to do it right every time. And then you're going to mess up, and then you have to step back and be like, oh, where do I need to repair this? And then you repair it and you move on, because you have to realize that each kid is going to need something different, because some kids are going to need more oversight from you, and others are going to need more hands off, because each of them are going to be different. So I think we have to make sure we're not beating ourselves up in the process, because it is normal for us to go one way or the other. We see it in our society. We see it in the weather. We see it. It happens. That's what happens.
If you enjoyed this conversation, then I definitely want you to check out this.